Hello, landlords. Happy November. So we're almost at the end of the year. Some very important areas that we need to talk about today. Number one, the market. So as I said before, let's look at some numbers for the market. And let me tell you, up until September, these are the markets coming straight out of our association, the Las Vegas Real Estate Association. We were down 8.7% over prior year, September being the month of units that have been leased in the Las Vegas area. The average price, it's hard to tell because there's all sizes of properties. So they're saying that it went a year ago, it was $21.71, and the latest period, which is they're talking about September, it was $22.76. Well, let's keep in mind what is happening. So remember that I said that a lot of people started doing this in September, trying to get ready to be in compliance for October. And that is that now you have one number for rent. And that's what they call the periodic rent. That means not necessarily it's the comparable of your property, what the current value is or the current rent value is, but it's the rent plus anything else that the landlord was charging the tenant, which means if you had pool service, if you had landscaping, now you're including it in the rent. So that's why you may see some of the rent prices that look higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have gone up. And I don't want to discourage anybody because Las Vegas, when I say Las Vegas, that means North Las Vegas, Henderson. It's still a lot easier and profitable than other areas such as California, which we're always compared to California. But my colleagues in California tell me that California, a tenant can be in the property for at least a year before a landlord can officially evict them. That is not the case in Las Vegas or Clark County at this moment. Also, the other issues are, I believe California the governor just made it mandatory that all landlords provide appliances. And it's my understanding that in the past it was optional. Well, Las Vegas has always provided appliances. Some of the things that changed this year were not only just the rent and how it's written, but also habitability. We pretty much cannot charge a tenant anything that falls under the habitability area, which is plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, heating, unless we can prove that the tenant caused the damage. And we have to be able to prove it in court. And so otherwise, you just can't. You cannot charge the co-pays. So those were the major changes this year. Well, the market will change. There's no question about it. We're going through some changes as a country, and that it's affecting Las Vegas too. Our tourism, it's slow. Now we're going into December. The casinos are working on promoting and coming up with some specials to bring in tourists back in town. So let's see what happens. But in the meantime, we are trying to keep your current tenants in place as long as the rents are within market value, which means if they're paying a fair rent, and we tell you that when we pull the comps, we'll let you know if you will lose money by trying to increase the rent and causing the tenant to move out, or if they're already paying above the current rent market, then just keep it as is. And so ultimately you have the final word. Something else that I need your help with is if your property has been managed by First Service Residential, as your association community management, we're having some problems there. Some of the community managers, they absolutely want to hear from the landlord and will not communicate with the property manager. Some of them, we used to always provide the management agreement, and then we could take over and take care of your violations, take care of your payments, do anything that needed to be done. First Service Residential, it's asking for the landlord to fill out an authorization form, and they will not provide the authorization form to us. They want the landlord to go online to their account and fill it out. If you are one of those landlords that need to do this, please help us out, because otherwise we cannot correct your violation. They will not look at it, and they will not even talk to us. So today I was at the real estate division gathering information on this, and actually someone in the compliance department is going to do me the favor of calling the community manager at First Service Residential, because I have a property that we've been on three-way calls with the landlord, and they still will not allow us to do our job. And so we need your help on that. If you have First Service Residential as your community manager, then most likely we will need your help, and we'll let you know. Lastly, it's going to be, take a look at your statements. So the address that is on your November statement, that's the address that your 1099 will go to. So if you need to make any changes, if you need to do a change to your name or address, we need to have a new W-9, because I have to turn in all of the W-9s on December 1st to my CPA. And they will submit and verify with the IRS. So we want to make sure we don't have any delays. So hopefully you have a great holiday season that is coming up, and let's keep our fingers crossed that rents turn around, and actually that our country does better than it's doing at this moment, and it will fix all of our problems. We'll have a great Thanksgiving if I don't get to speak to you before then, and we'll talk to you soon. As always, if you need anything, give us a call.